The typhoon had sealed the Oriental Star in place. No escape, no signal, just the relentless howl of the wind and the percussive beat of rain against steel. It was the second night of our journey up the Yangtze, and the ship felt less like a luxury vessel and more like a gilded cage. Inside, tensions simmered. The Sioux family, a dynasty of old money and new rivalries, had turned the grand voyage into a floating stage for their drama. Sue Manning, the heiress and live-streaming star, was at the center of it all, her every move documented for millions of followers. At 1:17 in the morning, a muffled thump echoed down the corridor, so faint it was almost lost in the storm's fury. A few passengers stirred in their sleep, but the sound was gone as quickly as it came, swallowed by the groan of the ship's engines. Morning brought no relief, only a thick, suffocating fog that pressed against every window. The world outside had vanished. Chen, Sue Manning's fiancé, was the first to raise the alarm. He'd knocked on her door at 7:45. No answer. He tried the handle. Locked. He called her phone, hearing it ring unanswered from within. By 8:15, a small, anxious crowd had gathered outside Suite 1201. The captain, the ship's doctor, and several members of the Sioux family stood in a tense silence. The master key card was swiped. The door swung open. Sue Manning was lying face down on the bed, utterly still. The bedside lamp cast a pale, lonely light on the scene. Her phone glowed with notifications from her last livestream, its screen cracked. And across the room, the wall safe stood wide open. Empty. The ship's doctor, Dr. Han, knelt beside her. After a moment, he shook his head. She's unresponsive. It looks like a sudden medical event, most likely between midnight and 2 a.m. Chen's face went white. We argued, he stammered, his voice barely a whisper. Around 11, I went to the bar. I came back around 2, but the door was locked. I just thought she was resting. Mr. Suweihow, the family patriarch, pointed his cane toward the door. Locked from the inside. The windows are sealed. There's no balcony. The ship's purser checked his tablet. The electronic lock log shows the last entry was at 10:42 p.m., using Miss Sue's own keycard. Nothing after that until just now, a locked room mystery. On a ship trapped by a typhoon. Sue Jia, a cousin, immediately whispered, "It has to be Yi Wei." She threatened Manning right on the livestream last night. All eyes turned to Yi Wei, Sue Manning's estranged stepsister, who stood silently at the back of the group. She met their stares without flinching. I was in my cabin all night. The steward brought me tea at midnight. Ask him. The young steward nodded nervously, confirming her alibi. Chen rounded on her, his voice trembling with rage. You did this. You've been planning it since you got on this ship. If I wanted to harm her, Yi Wei replied coolly, why would I announce it to the world? I'm not that foolish. That's when a new voice cut through the rising hysteria. It was Lin Ruoxi, the quiet observer who had been watching everything. No one here is foolish, she said softly. That's the problem. This was done with care. She walked to the empty safe. The family's heirloom jade bracelet is gone, a piece valued in the tens of millions. A very convenient motive for theft. Mr. Suweihow looked at her sharply. You think it was just a robbery? I think robbery is the excuse, Lin Ruoxi corrected. The real reason is much deeper. She then turned her attention to Chen. Your leg, the injury you sustained at the deck party. May I see it? Confused, Chen hesitated, then rolled up his pant leg. Underneath the bandage, there was no wound, just the faint red stains of a theatrical blood pack. A collective gasp went through the room. It was a prank, Chen confessed, closing his eyes in shame. For her live stream, a prop to go viral, Lin Ruoxi nodded slowly. A prop. So, tell me, was there another prop involved last night? Silence. The fog outside seemed to press in closer, suffocating the truth. The captain finally cleared his throat. This suite is now a crime scene. Everyone will be confined to their cabins until we can contact the police. He looked at Lin Ruoxi. You seem to know what you're doing. I know enough, she replied, her gaze sweeping over the faces in the room, each a mask of shock, fear, or calculation. Enough to know this wasn't impulsive. It was rehearsed, and the rehearsal happened right in front of us. The first tragedy had struck the Oriental Star, and somewhere, hidden among the passengers, the killer was just getting started. The echo and the fog had just begun. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.